So, can you give me a little bit of background on yourself and Tai Chi?
Sure. I began doing well. I had some mixed times with Tai Chi as a teenager, although most of that time was spent doing other martial arts. However, I finally got an opportunity to begin truly developing Tai Chi in 1976, I think it was, when I was introduced to a gentleman by the name of Abraham Liu in San Diego, which is where I was living at the time. I became an in-house student with Abraham and was given as much as he believed I could accept, I guess. I felt very comfortable with the training he had given me. I then moved to O'Fallon, Illinois in '99 and met Master Yang Jun that same year and became one of his students. And from that point on, I've been following Master Yang Jun's training, either with having him come to seminars that I've put on or go to seminars that others have put on. It's been a very educational process, to say the least. So that's kind of my overall history in Tai Chi. So.
Excellent. What has it done for your health?
It's maintained my health. I mean, there are always going to be situations that need direct intervention by a doctor of some sort, but overall it has changed me dramatically, or I shouldn't really say change, but it has maintained me dramatically. I don't believe that I would feel quite as comfortable with myself if I wasn't doing Tai Chi regularly. In fact, I know I wouldn't be. It's changed my whole metabolism. It's changed the way I think, the way I move, the way I act in general. It has become my lifestyle, or immersed into my lifestyle, perhaps. There isn't much I don't do with Tai Chi. If it's opening a door or what have you, though that muscle memory is, it just is. So
Great.
I guess that's the best way to answer that question.
In the beginning of your training, what was the hardest thing to learn or do?
In the beginning of my training, I would have to say the most difficult thing was the stances. Developing the strength necessary to become fluid. People think that it's very fluid as an art, and it is, as long as you practice and develop Kung Fu to the point where you can do the form in a flowing manner. It takes tremendous leg strength in order for you to do Tai Chi properly. It takes internal and external coordination throughout the body in order for you to do Tai Chi correctly. Did I?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So why do you think the youth does not take Tai Chi seriously?
Youth in this country has been brainwashed by movies. Everything that is shown in the movies is associated with the external martial arts, karate, Shaolin-based Kung Fu, and others. And because they're training and their activities are done externally, so they have to do them fast. I mean, it's about developing speed and strength. And so there has not been any education in this country to any real extent on the values of Tai Chi. So for children want to learn how to fight. In Tai Chi, absolutely, we learn how to fight, but because of the dynamics of the art, it isn't obvious to children that what they're seeing is a fighting art. So it's just a question of education. As you know, we have a student in class right now who's only 8 years old, and she's doing very well. Look at yourself, Nicholas. You started at 6 years old. Now
right.
Look at yourself. So it isn't a question of the art, it's a question of education about the art.
Right.
That's the challenge.
More people preaching about its methods and showing it properly.
Absolutely. Here comes our little prodigy now.
There you go.
All right.
So excellent. One more question. How would you describe your son's, Nicholas also myself, teaching methods?
I mean, you teach like I do. Yeah, I do. You know what I like most about your teaching methods is that you have youth, and in that youth, you understand people that are youthful. So you're much more jovial than I am. And I like that about you. I like that about your teaching. I think that it is an addition to our martial art.
Great. So,
absolutely.
last but not least, what is your favorite move and why?
What is my favorite move and why? Wow, that's difficult to answer. I honestly, there is no I mean, I guess there are moves that I enjoy doing for one reason or another.
Right.
But I don't see any favorite moves in terms of their martial potential. So I guess I like flowery movements just like anybody else does.
Right.
White crane spreads wings comes to mind, it's
right.
Or Fair Lady Works Shuttle. Those are all very, very subtle but very dramatic movements.
Excellent. All right. Sounds good. Sifu LeRoy also. Can you tell us how long you've trained in Tai Chi?
In Tai Chi? Well, since 1976 or so.
And it's 2017 now?
Yeah.
That's quite a bit.
That's a little while.
Great. And in those years, you've probably taught several hundreds of people.
I've taught quite a few people.
Great.
I have, yes. I'm very comfortable teaching.
Right. Great. So that wraps us up for today. I just wanted to ask you those questions. Have some documentation on some of these questions.
You betcha.
Your answer. All right.
All right. Thank you.